Okay, so I asked a question on the Insta story on whether a cheater should be forgiven and it be considered as just up and downs of a relationship, or it's a absolutely no and you walk out of that relationship. And there was an overwhelming response of it should be a no, absolutely no, and you should walk out of that relationship. So in one of the inboxes, the discussion I had with a few people were, what if into cheated once? Because obviously for everybody is that if somebody is repeatedly cheating on you, then it's definitely a no-no. Because one, kuna magonjwa, definitely. So you're worried about what he or she may be bringing home. And secondly, it's just emotionally draining that you have to deal with the person that is not there with you 100% and is sexually involved with just almost everybody out there, you know. It doesn't do well for our energies as well, because we just learned recently that sleeping with a person is exchanging of energies. So you're basically accumulating energy ya kila mtu anayelala naye kule nje. What a chaotic feeling would that be mentally, you know. Okay, so we're here to talk about if it is a repeated cheater, you definitely do not forgive. But what if somebody just cheated once? And for those of you who usually confuse cheating as somebody having another wife, it isn't. Cheating is when I know I'm in a soul relationship with you. You've told me that you're sleeping with me, I'm sleeping with you, we're married, it's just the two of us, and you're out there sleeping with somebody else. And culturally we've let it be that mwanamume kufanya hivyo, it is okay. And you're questioned kwamba you as a woman are not doing enough for that husband to keep him sexually at home, so he has to go out there. And we are told to ignore, we are told to improve ourselves, instead of actually addressing the man himself and why he is doing that outside. So, of course, I'm going to talk in terms of if somebody did it once, just once, does that warrant you to break your entire relationship? So we'll evaluate that. If somebody just cheated once, and what should you do? Should you stay in that relationship? Should you leave? So cheating on its own, if somebody's cheated on you, it's a feeling of frustration, it's a feeling of anger, it's a feeling of utmost betrayal. You know, you want to know why. You want to know who the other person is, you know, compare yourself to them and all that. So the first thing that goes through your mind is, I'm done, I don't want this. And sometimes it involves children, and maybe everything looked fine, but this person just went and did this. So first things first, forgiveness. Forgiveness really goes a long way, not for the person you're forgiving, but for yourself. It makes you feel like it cools your heart a bit, you know. Fine, he's done this, I forgive him. Forgive him for what he's done to me. It's not easy, and it's also a process, you know. And it doesn't, forgiving a cheater doesn't promise him or her that you're forgetting about the infidelity, nor does it mean also that you're staying in that relationship as well. When you first forgive, you're just forgiving. Just forgiving. That's it. Let every decision you make come step by step. It's not for you to make a decision there and then. You need to review it as a case and see, why did this person do what they did to me? And I will repeat again, I'm talking about a person that's cheated once and you found out that they've cheated on you. Your relationship has been fine, or maybe it's not been fine, it's had its up and downs, but you love that person and they love you back, and you are wondering, why did this person do that? So first step is, forgiveness is a step towards trusting again. Not trusting him only, but just trusting yourself. If you move out of that relationship, it makes it a lot more easier for you to get into a relationship with somebody else once you've learned the art of forgiveness. Otherwise, utakaa kila siku you suspect every single man out there is a cheater, or every single woman out there is a cheater. What kind of a life would that be? So it negatively might affect your character and how you deal with other people out there. Not forgiving is also very mentally exhausting. Just imagine holding on to all that inside you. You keep remembering, you keep replaying things, you keep replaying conversations, you keep replaying how that other person looks like, how they live, what your maybe your husband or wife has done for them. So forgiving just helps you mentally as well. It gives you the space to let go of all the resentment you have in yourself. Like I said, it's for your own betterment. It's not for the other person. I'm still concerned about you and your own well-being. It lets you think of more positive things in your life. If you just let go of that mentally exhausting aspect of it, of concentrating on just that negative, it gives room for you to think of other positive things that might be happening in your life. Unless your life revolves around your spouse. If it doesn't, then you can concentrate on other things. It is also healthy. When a person cheats on you, you become physically ill. Physically ill. Washikwa na homa aswa. You feel like you've gone crazy. You feel like your heart is aching. You feel like you can't move on. You can't be bothered. You feel sick physically and mentally. You become sick. So forgiving, just letting go. It's happened. You let go of it. It's not easy. It's difficult, and it doesn't happen overnight. But when you decide you want to do that step, it really, really helps a long way. So then, once you've gone through all that, you're like, let's tackle the essence of why a person cheats in the first place. I know everybody else that has written says that there is no excuse for cheating, no matter what problems you have in your marriage. That shouldn't be there. It should be the last resort. It shouldn't be part of the equation at all, no matter what goes on. But it happens. And I'm just here to make you understand why it happens. So there are two categories of why a person cheats. It's either personal focused circumstances or partner focused circumstances. So personal focused circumstances is when a person cheats because they have their own personal insecurities. Maybe something happened in their childhood. They trust issues. They look at you, they think you're cheating, they think you don't really make them feel enough, So they go and look for validations out there, and unfortunately in a sexual manner. So they go out there, they try and find somebody else that gives them that high, that feeling of personal gratification, something like that. And then childhood psychological traumas as well can result to a person, to an adult that cheats just so they can feel good about themselves. And then others have commitment issues. They cannot be committed to one person. I think that is why for us religiously we are told we can marry more than one person. Not as women, of course, but men can marry more than one woman. And I think it should cover that, the commitment issues. You can't commit with one person, maybe you can commit to 2 to 3. I don't know, I'm just trying to make sense of it. But commitment issues also make a person like they get scared of being in a relationship, like they feel constricted, like I'm stuck with this one person, and they just take the flight mode and go into something elsewhere. The other one that is partner focused one is that your partner is unavailable. It can be your partner is unavailable emotionally, your partner is unavailable sexually, and a person is unavailable just in a general sense. We're very busy these days. If you're a husband that is not giving time to your wife emotionally, you're not there all the time, and they get somebody else that is out there that gives them that attention, that makes them feel good and whatever, they go out there and they cheat. And for guys, it's the same thing. You are sexually unavailable as a woman. You kilo can be, well, let's have sex. You're tired, either you're not feeling well, you don't feel like it. So you can make a man go for like a month, 2 months, and you're like, I don't feel like it, I don't want to. So where do you expect him to get the sex from? Fine, it's not an excuse to go out there. I'm just saying that we have to be sexually conscious in our marriages. And that's the one thing most women that never had problems with their husbands, the ones that I am talking to and trying to sort out their issues, is that you never have an honest conversation with your husbands about sex. You never. You need to say you need to know what your partner loves about sex, what he loves about being done to him, what he loves. You need to have these conversations where you sit down and you find out what you two want sexually in your relationship. It's not things we are taught, you know. We get married and we are left to just figure it out by ourselves what to do in our marriages. But the one important thing that stands out is sex and why men cheat the most. I'm not even going to talk about women a lot, but why men cheat. You need to be there emotionally, one. You need to be there. For now, Sissy, come on, Mimi, like I have so much I'm doing in life. But it has to be consciously at the back of my mind that I need to be available. I need to know when I last had sex. I need to know when I need to have sex again. It's a constant, it's not kitu ya kudharau. It is something that you have, it has to be constantly in your mind. Consciously living. This is what it means, consciously living. Now, majority of the women take sex as not a big deal, but it is a very big deal for men. And you need to know what makes your husband tick. You need to know what makes your wife tick. You know, so these are conversations. These are conversations you sit down as a couple and you find out what makes Nusrat happy, what makes the husband happy sexually, and you work towards each other sexually. If I'm sexually satisfied with my husband and my husband is sexually satisfied with me, I give him sex when he needs it and I get sex when I need it. What's the reason for cheating? When you're emotionally there for a person. And for women who just are at home and maybe are not working or whatever, make it a habit of being interested in conversations with your husbands, you know. Try emotionally connecting with the spouse. The only reason, or the majority of the reason people go out there is when they get emotionally connected to other people, when they get attention from other people out there. So ensure you have your spouse's attention 100%. Yeah, so do not be unavailable emotionally, do not be unavailable sexually, do not be unavailable physically. Physically means wewe saa yote una conference, saa yote sijui una seminar, saa yote sijui you're out in school. You know, we are told that the ones that will make legends are the ones that are doing the most in the community. So you are out there in the community forgetting your own small community in the home. How do you expect our marriages not to get wrecked in that sense? You know, I mean, if you look at it in an open perspective. So if a person cheats once, you know, find out why they cheated. Don't be so quick to dismiss it. Find out why you cheat and then move on from there now into the process of forgiveness, provided that other person has admitted that, look, it's happened once, it was a mistake, and I did it because of A, B, C, D. Work on those A, B, C, Ds. Find out if you had other problems in your marriage. Sit down, discuss them, try and work it out. But if you're a person that feels like this is a no-no for you and it's a breaker for marriage, then by all means you can walk out of that marriage, but walk out of that marriage with the lesson that you have learned so that you don't repeat it with somebody else you meet out there. That's all I can tell you. And for the hardest part of it all is now sitting down and reevaluating your relationship and understanding that your relationship will never be the same again. So don't expect it. It's like you're now two new people trying to make it work. Again, I've over-talked and it's 14 minutes. So if you have any questions regarding this, please feel free. And if it's a lot of questions, I'll do another video on it. But my verdict is, if somebody has cheated once and they feel remorseful and they're ready to work to change that, please have an open heart and work out your marriages. If a person is a repeated offender, nah, I don't agree on that. I think let go. Completely let go if they can't be fixed, because you have your own self-worth and self-awareness and self-love that you need to preserve. I hope I make sense. Thank you, guys.